3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
Hello guys, what is up and welcome back to the Sports Shift with me, Ian Marquez. This is the final leg of the triple header. F1 is heading to Saudi Arabia. Let's get started. So here we have a look at the driver standings. As you can see, McLaren maintained their dominance at the top. What's going to be interesting is the fight between Norris and Piastri. I mean, we all know that Norris was the established number one. Piastri is the new driver, coming off a very good rookie season, and now he's ready to take the next step. He's been very good in qualifying, and in most of these tracks, when you go good in qualifying, overtaking has become more and more difficult, so more than likely you will win the race. Huge shout out to Max Verstappen. I'm not a very big Red Bull fan, and their car is struggling right now, but he is dragging that car to the finish line and doing everything possible to challenge however he can. George Russell has had a very, very quiet but impressive season. Always there and about, always trying to get on the podium, not causing any fuss. There is talk of him signing a new contract at Mercedes. Then between the two Ferraris, we have Kimi Antonelli. Very, very impressive start to his F1 career, and it just looks like he's going to keep improving week in, week out. Very excited to see what he can offer, and maybe soon he can start to challenge for race wins. Around him we have Ferrari. I mean, Leclerc doing what he can, usually pretty good in qualifying, one of the best qualifiers in F1 in my opinion. But as we know, the Ferrari car is a little all over the place. We don't know where it is right now. They're already working to do some improvements. Hopefully that can come to fruition, and we can see Leclerc and Hamilton actually putting up a proper challenge. Then down to the mid-table we have Albon, followed by Ocon and Stroll. We know that Williams is quick. Albon is always there and about, always trying to cause some trouble. And I mean, what can I say? Like, he's a really good driver, and he has that Williams doing as he likes. He doesn't make too many mistakes, so he just does what the car allows him. So looking at the constructor standings, well, obviously McLaren is dominating this race at this point. The battle for second doesn't seem too close. Mercedes is clearly the second best car in the group. I think once Ferrari sorts themselves out, they should be able to overcome Red Bull, just because they probably will have the better car in the end, and they definitely have the more experienced drivers overall, because Verstappen is still the best driver on the grid at this point. Mid-table is probably the most interesting battle, to be honest. Haas currently dominating, Esteban Ocon along with the rookie Ollie Bearman doing a good job. Alex Albon dragging that Williams team along, because Carlos Sainz is yet to find his feet. And then we have Aston Martin. I mean, no thoughts on Lance Stroll. Lucky to be there, just enjoying his time in F1. Fernando Alonso, also, I guess he can't bother to retire. He just wants to keep racing. And Racing Bulls, we have the rookies Isaac Hadjar. We also have Liam Lawson. You know what to expect there. Hicks Saber and Alpine. Alpine a bit disappointing. You would expect them to be kind of higher. They have the likes of Pierre Gasly. I mean, I know they also have a rookie in Jack Doohan, but you would expect Gasly to be putting in a better performance. So speaking of the rookies, let's look at the rookie leaderboard. Well, as expected, Kimi Antonelli continuing to increase the gap between the other rookies. He's in the best car of the bunch, and he is definitely the best driver of the bunch. Easily the most talented, and there's no surprise by the gap. Isaac Hadjar getting his first points in Japan, and not too surprised there. I expect him to do better than Ollie Bearman. I think he's a little bit better than Ollie Bearman, so I think once he finds his feet, it's a little more confidence. He'll probably be the second best rookie, and I think it will filter out in order as expected. If you look at the bottom three, Liam Lawson, Jack Doohan, still struggling. Is quite a big jump from F2 to F1. And Gabriel Bortoleto, I mean, not too much to expect there. They're not in the greatest of cars. And They're a little in over their heads right now. So right now, this is what we expect for the rookies. So how about some team news? Well, as expected, we talked about Ferrari. Where do they go from here? I mean, they have two of the best drivers. It should probably compete with the likes of McLaren for the best two drivers as a team on the grid, but they just need the car to perform to allow them to showcase their skills and their talents, and it just hasn't been able to. They've been having to worry about little details that are right unnecessary. They've had some disqualifications, but they had a new floor installed in Bahrain and two decent places. Gonna do some more testing in Saudi Arabia, and we'll see if they can compete in Jeddah. Now, I guess the main talking point is McLaren, and I know it's very boring that they're going to dominate every race, but there is a battle brewing within McLaren. Lando versus Oscar. Who is going to take charge of this season? Who is going to dominate? And eventually, who's going to take the World Championship? This is probably the easiest chance either of them will get. They're way above the rest of the field, and it's really just between the two of them. Oscar Piastri looks to have it down in qualifying. In Bahrain, Lando made a couple mistakes and he just couldn't get any chance of catching Oscar. So Oscar has the upper hand right now, and if Oscar can get his third race win this season, I think it's going to be difficult. I mean, that momentum is going, and Lando has to watch out because Piastri is not there to mess around. So that's very interesting. We haven't quite seen them race head to head in a specific race yet. Each weekend one has taken charge and controlled the whole race. So I think the most exciting thing we can hope for as F1 fans right now is a front row start and two of them just competing, racing. And I think this track potentially can offer that. So look forward to that. Finally, we have Red Bull woes. I mean, Max Verstappen clearly the best driver on the grid, but what more does he have to do to try and drag this car along, you know? Like, after such a dominant season last year, intense battles with Hamilton the year before where he came out on top, you just expect him to continue flying. But now the rumors of him leaving Red Bull at the end of the season, don't think that's happening. It's a little far-fetched. And the problems just continue to arise at Red Bull. Usually they're so efficient, especially when pit stops, and we saw some very difficult pit stops for him in Bahrain. He had to climb through the field, which obviously he's capable of, but Red Bull really is not helping him out right now. I mean, he's struggling to find balance in the car. He has a very competent teammate in Yuki Tsunoda now, so usually, hopefully two of them can push together to try and figure out, get some feedback and get the car working, going in the right direction. Because we don't want to see Max competing for the top. I mean, he's not my favorite driver, but when he has quality like this, you want to see him challenging. Like, you don't want the car to hinder him, you know? Let the best driver win. So, welcome to Jeddah. This circuit length is 6.174 kilometers. That is the third longest track on the calendar. It also features the most turns of 27 turns, 7 of those being braking zones, the rest being medium to high speed corners. They have 3 DRS zones, and it is the second fastest lap on the calendar. The overall speed of 250, second only to that of Monza. 3/4 of the lap is full throttle, and the lap record is held by Lewis Hamilton, which he conquered in 2021. So being such a high-speed track, teams will tend to prioritize low downforce, low drag, and a little bit of strategy will be involved as Pirelli are sending out some of the softer compounds, C3 through to C5, so we can see higher rates of tire degradation and a lot more strategy involved in preserving the tires. Now, being that this is a street circuit, there is a shorter runoff on most corners, and the likes of a safety car are very likely. Now, being that this is a street circuit, the chances of a safety car are more likely, And that being said, safety cars will take a little bit longer to get off the track due to the difficulty in removing debris, fixing barriers, that sort of thing. You can see safety cars linger on track a little bit longer. Teams typically opt for a one stop, and as we see pit stops becoming more costly, I think that will continue this season. The trend is generally medium tires to hard tires. Now, being that this is a street circuit, we can see lap times continue to go down over the course of the race as track evolution will be high. In terms of gathering data, most teams will opt for FP2 as that practice will take place at night time, which will be the closest chance to simulate race conditions. Hopefully, unlike the other races, we can see a little bit more overtaking here as it's such a high speed track with a little bit of tire degradation. We can get a little more entertaining races. Yes, qualifying has been quite entertaining, testing the ability of each driver. However, the races have been slightly disappointing. Not too much going on and pretty predictable. So we're thinking, like, what are ways that we can improve F1? I mean, there are a couple options that you can lean towards. Personally, we have to adapt the tracks. So look at the historical tracks, the likes of Japan. Very interesting qualifying, but very boring race, very predictable, very limited chance of overtaking because these tracks were built for cars like half the size of modern F1 cars. These cars are also a lot faster. So how can we compete? Well, we can widen the track, lengthen the straights, make overtaking just a little bit more possible. We can also provide softer tire compounds, increase the chance of tire degradation. Teams will be more likely to push harder each lap to try and preserve tires because pit stops will be more common regardless of what you do with your tires. Those are just a couple ideas, but we need to make some changes because F1 is getting kind of boring. Yes, it's still a lot of history involved. It still takes a lot of ability to drive an F1 car. But we want to see racing. You don't want to see drivers nursing the tires each and every lap. We want to see them pushing flat out every single lap where possible. And we got to do something, especially on street circuits, on these narrow circuits. These cars are so much wider now. Overtaking has just become so much more difficult. So what do we do? Let me know what you guys think. For my race prediction, well, I think Lando Norris says, Oscar, I'm in charge here. He takes charge in Jeddah, goes good in qualifying and dominates the race. You know, once one of these McLarens get in front, you cannot catch them. And behind him, I think George Russell, Charles Leclerc have very quietly had very steady seasons. They're both really good in qualifying, and I mean, they take what's given to them. They don't have the best cars, but if you give them opportunity, they will take it. They don't make too many mistakes, so I think they fill out the rest of the podium. That being said, you have the likes of Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Kimi Antonelli. They can all challenge. They're all really good drivers in competent cars, not the best cars, but they are still competent. So anything can happen. We'll see who gets lucky with a safety car. I think that would be a big talking point. But let me know you guys' predictions and what you guys think. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It definitely helps out the channel. Otherwise, leave your predictions in the chat and enjoy this weekend's action. See you guys later.